Hey, good evening. How is everyone doing? I'd like to take to welcome you to another Morning Glory Apostolic Prophetic Center broadcast. I am your host, Deidre Hubbard, and today we're going to talk about pain of my obedience. The pain of my obedience. And the reason God told me to title the pain of my obedience, because many of you are in a season of elevation, but we also are in a season of judgment, which means we come into a place we are reaping what we're sowing. It's very important for you to understand, acknowledge, and follow what I may say right down to the T. Because we're doing this in a season of suddenly with open doors. And if you by chance miss what God is trying to grant you, you're going to miss what God has for you. And for many of us, and myself included, but how you know every round goes higher and higher. So when we're talking about the pain of obedience, the reason, once again, I had to title it The Pain of My Obedience, because a lot of you are feeling pain because you're obeying God. A lot of you are feeling pain because you disobeying God. So with this message here, we have to understand, if we following God and and it's causing us pain, we got to let it go. If you ain't following God and you causing pain and it causing you pain, you got to get to God to get the right kind of pain. We're going to be in Psalms chapter 16. And what's unique about this psalm, as I begin to read it and interpret the revelation as the Holy Spirit gives to me, is that oftentimes people think this a psalm that David was writing, thinking he was in trouble, because he was asking for preservation. But he would ask about preservation because he knew no matter what was going on in his life, he would not be moved. His confidence in some kind of resurrection of what he was going through, I'm not moving from this. That's what y'all got to understand when you've been hearing me saying lately that God told me my faith is non-negotiable. Since it's the end of the year and I've been saying it and y'all don't understand it, and once you understand it, then maybe you can hold on to it. When God this is the relationship with God you have to have, that God can say one sentence and your whole spirit know what he means. When God said your faith is non-negotiable, what that means is that what I have taught you and instilled to you, I no longer want you to bend for what I stand on. Which means he didn't want me to no longer look the other way. He didn't want me to no longer come to a place, or I understand them, so I ain't gonna say nothing. What he was saying, in this season, I need you to stand up for what you know is right and what I have taught you, not what I love. not what I have, what I have taught you. All right. So what does that mean? It's plenty of things when I was in the house my wife did that I overlooked because God told me to overlook. It's plenty of things people around you do that you often overlook, not because God told you to overlook it, but you overlooked it for the sake of love. I overlook the stuff for the sake of God. I don't overlook for the sake stuff for the sake of love because I can be very vocal in what I disbelieve in. Not only can I be very vocal in it, I got scripture to back me up. I don't have no parable, what grandma said and what that person said. So when he said your faith is non-negotiable, he said stand, say. But y'all know the popular word that's out now. Actually, he was saying you better stand on business. I just had to say it. So I'm standing on business. You got to love God so much that when he tell you to stand on business, i.e. stand in your faith, if everybody begins to leave you because what you believe in God is true, bye. See, it sounds heartless when I say if my mama leave me, the wife leave, if the son leave, if the brother leave, I'm standing on God. Yeah, it sounds heartless. But guess what? What they got, what do they have prepared for me in the afterlife or when I die? Only person promised me something was Christ. He said, I'm going to way to prepare a place for you. You think I'm going to sit around here and crying and snotting over people who ain't got nothing for me? I ain't finna kill myself over a piece of coochie, and I ain't going to be killed over a piece of coochie. So watch this. There was pain in my obedience, but my pain comes from what? Obedience is better sacrifice. I can still overlook something. I can say stuff. You listen here. I'm a man. Whatever me and my wife going through, I'm trying to help y'all, and I don't mind talking about it, but I'm gonna say certain things. Whatever we going through, I can fix it. I know I can. But watch this. Why fix something? Why fix it? And it was never broken. It comes down to a point of view. That's what it comes down. But watch this. Everybody that has disagreements, whether you married in a relationship, on the job, in your house, in the house, everything that splits, you know what it splits over? A point of view. Satan didn't become Satan because he wanted to. Satan became Satan because of a point of view. Perception is everything, which means how you look at things is everything. How people look at me. Now, sometimes you might be wrong. I can fix it. But if I can fix it, notice what I just said. I can fix it. But if God told me my faith is non-negotiable and told me things that have to happen, I ain't finna fix nothing. I got to wait to see what God told me has to happen. And I know God can do it because in ministry all these years, and some of you who've been following me all these years or a number of years, if I ever told you something and it didn't happen, if it didn't happen, tell me. But for the most of it, it happened. So when he tell me something, I got to wait to see what he says happened. That's why y'all heart hurt. That's why some of y'all don't know what to do. That's why some of y'all confused. That's why some of y'all depressed. Because it's pain. watch this, in your obedience. It got to be pain in your obedience. Why? Didn't you think Christ felt that pain when he was nailed to the cross? When they spitted on him, when they laughed at him, when they judged him, when they turned on him, when they denied him? But it's how you handle the pain. So we're in Psalm 16:1. It said, preserve me, O God, for in thee do I put my trust. O my soul, thou hast said unto the Lord, thou art my Lord. My goodness extended not to thee, but to the saints that are in the earth, and to the excellent in whom is all my delight. See, watch this. Yeah, but it's your trust in God doing it. See, David said, preserve me, for in thee I put my trust. See, what happens is God trying to see, do you really trust him? You don't really trust God for what you're going through. Can I tell you why? Some of y'all stopping the social media pages. Some of y'all praying for protection over them. Some of y'all praying that they come to their right state of mind. Some of y'all praying that they come back to you. Some of y'all, you trying to figure out where they is and what they doing. You know why? Because you don't trust God. See, when you trust God, I ain't got time to block nobody. I ain't got time to find out where somebody going. I ain't got time to wonder what they doing. Because if I know God and the Bible teaches me he's going to withhold no good thing from me, then what I'm doing running around trying to find something that's good for me, and they done told me they don't want me. Now y'all watch my language. Sometimes I'm just saying stuff as it rolls off my tongue. So the disclaimer in this message, if you hear me say something because of the nature and the title of the message, it doesn't necessarily mean it's me. It's the revelation of the Holy Spirit speaking, and what it does, it has to personalize it so some of you can actually understand what I'm saying. So here in verse 2, David talks about how his soul is speaking to God and say, your goodness not only extended to me, but it extends to everybody in the earth. See, when you really love somebody, ain't nothing wrong with wanting what's best for them, but you got to understand something. If you don't know the test for them, you shouldn't pray for the best for them, because sometimes God's test is designed to take you down through them. Sometimes God's test is designed to break you till you ain't got no choice but to go to God. Sometimes God, and this is my story. Sometimes God's test is to get you homeless. It's to get you broke. It's to get you heartbreaking. Because at the end of the day, when your tears flowing and your heart is broken, and when you feel like ain't nobody there, guess what? If you ain't thinking about God, you messed up. See, your heart gonna be broken. But don't think about the person that broke your heart. God, why did you allow my heart to be broken? See, y'all thinking about the people that broke your heart, that done left you. And now you creeping and creeping and things going through your mind because your mind ain't on who? That God that give you perfect peace. But David knew something. He said, their sorrows shall be multiplied, that hasten after another God, their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. See, some of y'all praying for people that God is trying to punish. And when you praying for people that God is trying to punish, the recompensing of that, because you dumb enough to not have a relationship with God and know what's going on, you getting punished yourself. See, he said, their sorrow shall be multiplied. Meaning, okay, they love the actions of their actions so much, God got to do something to them, to the actions of their actions, that they don't love no much. See, watch this. Y'all do this. That's a mindset, don't you? Who we got here? Let's go find us a couple of witnesses around here. We got over there in Genesis 3:16. Let's see what Genesis. That's what y'all Baptist preacher be saying. Let's go over to Genesis 6 and let us walk through the word. We gonna walk the word. You ain't walking nothing, you heathens. Genesis 3:16. Watch this. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. What you don't understand, God placed a mindset upon Eve. The mindset she placed upon Eve, that he had placed upon Eve, he said, you're going to desire your husband, but you ain't going to understand him. You're going to desire. Why would that happen? Why did God have to change Eve's mindset? Because when she looked at that tree, she desired something other than what her husband had already told her. So see, a lot of y'all going through what you're going through because you desiring other things than what God gave you. It's a mindset. So when you get in a mindset that you don't want your husband no more, then what happens? You bring sorrow unto yourself. Let's look at how many people been in a separation this year, a divorce this year. Watch this. When you separated from your husband or wife, what has happened to you? Your sorrow increased. Because watch this. What it's saying, I will greatly multiply that sorrow and their conception. It means anything that you tried to do because you didn't do it right and you didn't understand what you had, it's going to be complications in you going to that next level. So watch this. Your wife left all of a sudden. Now you ain't got nothing to put them 6.5 inches in. Huh? Your husband and left you. Now you ain't got enough to do what you need to do. Because your mindset changed. I'm trying to help y'all. So when we go back up to Psalms, their sorrow shall be multiplied. What's going on with some of you? The reason you can't get what you want is because you done did something in your own free will that God wasn't pleased about. And when you do something in your own free will that God is not pleased about, what you doing, you won't think is wrong because it's your free will that's at work. See, You can't tell a man, you can tell a man so much, only so much that that you don't want them, that you don't love them, that you don't do this, you don't do this. Okay, God has to step in. He said, give them what they want. But watch you. You know why? You know what your sorrow is? You're heartbroken. You're depressed. You're mad. You got to masturbate. Why? Because God trying to get somebody right, and you still trying to get them even when they wrong. Y'all better let them go. See, watch this. Anything that you can't let go of has become your God. Their sorrow shall be multiplied, their hasting after another God. See, when you made that woman your God, God had to take that woman away. When you made that man your God, God had to take that man away. When you made that job your God, God had to take that job away. When you made that automobile your God, God has to take that automobile away. All right, he done took it away. It's still your God. Why? Because you praying to God to give it back and he done took it away. Listen here. I ain't the spiritual Dietrich is not like the carnal Dietrich. I ain't riding around finna hide in no bushes. I ain't finna touch no hood of the car. I ain't finna sneak around and see. I ain't finna sneak around to where I know they hang out at. Guess what? Because the minute I do, I bring sorrow onto me because of what? God is trying to do something. Nor take up their names into my lips. I told somebody this the other day, and now they seen what I said. And we was talking about somebody that's dear to me. I said, I'm not praying for them. I know the voice of God. I hear the voice of God. So when I know God taking somebody I know through a trial, I'm not praying for them. Why am I praying for them? Because if God taking it through a trial, I don't know how long that trial gonna last. I don't know what God gonna do to them. I don't know what God gonna let them experience. So with me praying for them, understanding that God is doing something, I'm fighting with God on His behalf. No, do what you got to do, God. I'm gonna go over here and preach this gospel. I'm gonna listen here. I'm gonna eat these oatmeal raisin cookies. I'm gonna chew on this ice cream. Listen here. That's why I keep trying to tell y'all, make sure you hear the voice of God. You sitting around here praying for people protection and this and this and this, and God dealing with them, you have become God's enemy. That's what David was saying. Listen here, if they prideful, guess what? I ain't praying for God to break the spirit of pride off of them. You know why? Because then I'm accused of operating in the same thing that he trying to break. What I mean by that? If I pride myself on God hearing me and hearing my prayers, then for me to pray to God to break the spirit of pride off of them, I put God in a bind. What kind of bind I put God in? Because if I'm a loyal servant of God, he gonna break the spirit, which means what? He got to cut his test short because of me. You know what Brother Hubbard do? I go crack me a joke. I go say, listen here. That's why I be trying to tell y'all. If I know you going through, I hear the voice of God. I ain't praying for you. I understand the repercussions of trying to get something that don't even want me. Why don't it want you? Because it don't know that it don't want me. So a lot of people being moved by spirits, and until God defeat the spirits, whatever you want that don't want you, you're gonna keep wanting it. And what happens? You bring sorrow on yourself. Let God work. Let God work. Ah, I ain't trying to find nothing out. You know why? It ain't my business. The Lord is the portion of my inheritance and of my cup. Thou maintainest my life. The lines are fallen unto me in pleasant places. Yea, I have a good godly heritage. I will bless the Lord who have given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night season. See, I told y'all, I said you gonna come to a season that you got to choose to get rid of what God gave you so he can give you what he wants you to have. See, God gave y'all something so you can know God hears your prayers. But what he gave you may not necessarily be what he wanted to give you. Now watch this. What he gave you may have been an unfinished product. What he has for you is he gonna spin the block when he got them fully developed for you. Huh? Y'all still around here praying for God to save an unfinished product. See, they were still on the wheel when you praying for a husband, you praying for a wife, you praying for this. And he said, okay, they praying, but he hit a storm in there. It still had a blemish, but because God loved you, he took that unfinished thing and gave it to you. And you like the way that butt was shaped. Those supple breasts, those broad shoulders he got. Ooh, he look like, oh, you like that. Okay, God said enough of enough because it wasn't finished. So now God took it and you sitting there mad. See, I got to put it on the wheel. And then he poured that water on it. And well, first he put it in the kiln. See, when you put it in the kiln, you got to heat it back up so it can get malleable. And you throw a little water on it then until you're able to deal with it again. But see, some of them, that blemish was too strong. So you know what he did? Bow! He got to break it. All right, well, watch what he do when he break it. Now he gonna put it in that pot and he gonna put it back in there. And when it melted down, he said, "Okay, I got to take that one and put it back on that wheel and make it all again." And this time, if I decide to present it to him, guess what? It ain't got no blemish in it. It's gonna be just what they want. But watch out, y'all like them kids with mama in there baking them cookies. They ain't done yet, but you want them chocolate chip cookies. So now God trying to get it right, but that was your idol. You miss it so much. You still want to take something unfinished because your love in what God gave you and not in God. That means God ain't never been your portion. Whatever you made an idol was your portion. That's why you ain't got no peace. That's why you got restless spirit. Because you don't understand your heritage. Your heritage is, and this is for this video. I got to put that disclaimer up there because I don't want to be no hatery. Your heritage is that whatever God takes from me, he's still God. Whatever God don't bring back to me, he's still God. Whatever God don't bring me to the manifestation of, he's still God. So what happens what God has given you, for some of you, it became your God. And that's why y'all in places of distress, because you miss your God. That's why he can't give you no instructions in the night season. Because you miss rubbing on that butt. You miss that old good sex. You miss that paycheck. You miss that car. So what happens, a lot of you can't grow in God because you still missing the thing that has become God in your life. Verse 8 said, I have set the Lord always before me. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Therefore, my heart is glad and my glory rejoices. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Now, y'all ready for it? Whatever left you, leave it alone. Leave it alone. But see, you became a God to yourself and y'all disobeyed things that God had told you. Y'all disobey things that you know is wrong. Leave him, her, it, that, what, here, or whatever it is. If it's gone, leave it alone. Listen here. If the dog ran away, why you posting you posting reward fees all over town? But I'm gonna break it down for some of you. We're gonna get personal with it. If somebody left you, don't nobody need to know on social media that what you going through. Because guess what? When you weren't going through, y'all didn't have all this wisdom and revelation and this and that. Now y'all want to educate the world and show them your pain. You ain't slick. You keep your pain where you kept your happiness when what you had, you had. That means keep it to yourself. Y'all around here posting media, what it is, media loss, media loss flyers. O thou God, my heart thou hurtest. Can you see this in my pain? If you ain't been doing it, why you doing it now? Y'all can't fool God. I don't need to know your man left you, your woman left you. Ooh, I need somebody to love me like I ain't been loved. Sit your narrow tail down, you hypocritical heathen. I need a man to take care of me like this. I need a woman to do that. Hey, if somebody do this what you sit your tail down and get healed. Y'all out here with these subliminal I'm hurting message. Watch this. Do y'all see Brother Hubbard posting anything about what's going on in his life, his marriage? What y'all see Brother Hubbard do? What he always do? I'm gaslighting, throwing a few jokes here, talking about this gospel. So in all my years of ministry, I ain't doing it. And for some of you that look to me like a mentor, that listen to me teach, why you doing something that I don't even do? My fault. You better than me. Okay then. Teach me something then. It's evident you better than me. So if I don't if I don't do it, why are you doing it? You know why you're doing it? Because God, watch this, God ain't in you. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. Don't nobody need to know you hurt. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram don't need to know you hurt. Instagram, Facebook, they don't need to know you homeless. They don't need to know you ain't got no money. They don't need to know what kind of clothes you wear. You know why? Because y'all unstable because you ain't got no Holy Spirit. Huh? So he ain't at your right hand. That's why you moving like you would. See, when you got God, you ain't moving about what done left you, what done died, what you want. Your heart ain't glad. Ain't no your glory ain't rejoicing because you crying over spilled milk. You better go find another cow and learn how to milk them nipples. If you can't find a cow, go get some goat. That goat milk sweeter than the cow milk. Y'all around here putting out help wanted sign on social media because you looking for a reaction. You looking for consolation. Watch this. It should be in God. Now, what you tell a person one-on-one, I'm cool with that. Why social media got to know your business? Now you got people who don't even know you saying something. You the butt of the joke. They looking at you. All that foolishness. Because all of a sudden you wise cause you hurt. Cause you disgusted. Cause you restless. Y'all but listen here. What the song is? I cried my last tear yesterday. Stop around here worrying about people, places, and things that you lost. Look for the consolation prize. See, one thing about that consolation prize. See, you might have been driving that old. Let me see what we're going. You might have been driving that old Honda, you know, and you lost it. And then God come around with that fully loaded Toyota. Okay. But see, y'all don't think like that. So I'm gonna do it how he come back or he spin the block with that nice BMW. But how can God bring the BMW and you still holding your hand trying to get something that's gone? You got a clenched fist with nothing in it, and you still think you got something in it. You paralyzed, fools. Paralyzed. Now you don't want to eat. Now you can't sleep. Now you think about how you can get this person back, how to get that back. Listen here. Y'all better look at him. Paul talks about follow after me. If I didn't talk to you personally, if I'm in any situation that y'all in, follow after me. Why? Because it said I'm following after God. Don't be around here crying over no peanuts. Don't be crying over no coochie. Don't be crying over no car. Follow after me. I'm trying to get you to the promised land, not the promise in the land. For that would not leave my soul in hell. A lot of your soul in hell because you want something that don't want you. Why would I go buy? Why would I go get dogs that every time I try to feed them, they bite me and I still give them a home? Pow, pow. I ain't even gonna put them out the pasture. I'm shooting them. Well, in this case, I ain't gonna shoot them. No, sit down. I ain't gonna shoot y'all. Calm down. See, you know, calm down. I had to tell him. Listen here. My flesh also shall rest in hope. Why you hoping for something that don't want you? See, you gonna only tell me so many times I ain't the one for you. So if I ain't the one for you, then why I still want what you don't want? Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Let your flesh rest. Y'all around here, let me see what he posted. Well, y'all in the background. Y'all, what that man? Y'all like what's the name that came by Jesus at night? Y'all around him in the dark trying to see what people doing. Go to sleep. Rest your mind. Talk to God. Learn some revelation. Understand your gift. Neither would thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. You corrupting your relationship with God by trying to hold on to something that God is trying to develop and get the blemish out. You are knowing that blemish out. And until the blemish ain't out, you got to go on with your life. Verse 11 says, thou will show me the path of life. See, we got to understand people gonna come and go. I got a friend now. Her and her husband had to been divorced for over 20 some years. They back together stronger than ever. 20 some years. She had all kind of boyfriends and this and that, and going to look for a house, but she always broke up with him. Now the man she started with, the father of her children, they back together. But see, with me, it's because he got old and he couldn't play no more. She said, so let me go get her because I know she was faithful to me. I know the game, but I don't say that. Ain't my business. But they together. She happy. Listen here. Whatever God took from you, because we in a season of reaping what you sow, because we in a season of suddenly, because we in a season of elevation, you better get rid of everything that you want that don't want you. Because you're gonna find yourself quick, fast, and hurry in a sorrow that you don't need to have because you trying to get something that don't want you. You got to be ready for what's next, not for what you want. That's what you got to be ready for. But how can God prepare something? How can God talk to you when your focus is on the dog that then ran away? One thing about a dog that ran away, that dog, he gonna roam. Huh? That dog gonna roam. But when that dog get tired of roaming, guess what? He coming back home. I really miss you, Brandy. When are you coming home? When are you gonna be strong? I really miss you, Brand. Let them dogs run. Watch this. You calling them dogs. What is a dog? A dog roams when it ain't been trained. A dog like this. I had a white child I called Lucky. I let him loose. I let him roam. He ran there screwing everything in the neighborhood. But guess what I said? Boy, he just like his master. But I love that dog. He always came home. If your dog don't come home, guess what? That never was your dog. See, watch this. Sitting on dungarees. Listen here, watch this. If a woman leave you, you got to. If a woman or a man leave for that matter, if they leave you, what you got to come to grips with, they never was yours in the first place. Because anything God really gave you, why would it leave you? Because this word is true. The blessing of the Lord don't add no sorrow. All alone. That's what y'all at home say. Granddad went out. I'm so all alone. Ah! That's the jam now. All that booty shaking and F my baby daddy. F my baby daddy. Ooh, bend it over in the crack. Filthy. Anything God, anything that leave you, it ain't yours. I don't care what you say. So if it ain't mine, why I wanted to come back? If it's mine and blemish, God gonna clean it up and it gonna come back. Others, when the pain. Ooh, y'all got me started now. Up and gone. See, I'm trying to help you. Stop giving your attention to things that are blemished. Every blemish can be fixed. But a lot of time you got to see the blemish for what it really is. It ain't necessary that you did anything wrong. It's necessary that God know where you stand before he really bless you. And if your blessing is more in what God, if your focus is more on something or someone that don't understand you, then you got to understand yourself enough to know I got to love God more than anything in this world. I know you thought you had a garden of Eden. Before you came along. The fruit of the midst of the garden. You hear what he's saying now? The fruits that turn you on. There you go, Jack. See, Johnny Taylor be preaching, boy. Watch this. Some people get turned on by something that they want that ain't necessarily meant to you. See, Eve wanted that fruit because it turned her on. But when she bit that fruit, it caused her a lot of misery. Everything out in the open. In this season of preparation, God has to bring everything that you thought you was over out. He has to bring it out so you can actually see it. When you actually see it, you got to deal with it this time. The reason a lot of people are not getting the message is because they're so prideful they can't see their faults for nominating and listing yours. When you find a person that likes that, you have to leave them alone. You have to excommunicate them. Why? Because they're going to get their power out of every time you come to them. Their power comes in demeaning you, degrading you, and making you remember something God already forgave you for. These are scuba diver saints. See, when the Bible says, I take your sin or whatever and throw it in the sea of forgiveness, these the Loch Ness monster. They go back down there and bring it up. I remember you did this in 2012. You did this in 2005. You did this in 2021, and you got to pay for this. You got to pay for this. You got to do this. You got to say you sorry. You got to say you sorry. Listen here, Loch Ness monster. You gonna die. Because you the one going down there scuba diving, trying to pick up Brother Hubbard's stuff. Or this my message, so I'm talking. So when you got Loch Ness monster in y'all life, you got to let that Loch Ness monster go. Because until God break that Loch Ness monster, it gonna always terrorize you. Watch this. Same man. Everything out in the open. You youngsters don't know nothing about that Johnny Taylor, do it. I know you don't. So let them go on about their business. Enjoy your life. See, a lot with fear, stagnant with pride, stagnant with loneliness. You better enjoy your life before your life goes. Be blessed.